We are continuing with the teachings of Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj from the book I Am That. Now, the questioner is inquiring about the topic of pleasure from Maharaj. So, Maharaj says, and I will read Maharaj's words. He says, by its very nature, pleasure is limited and transitory. Out of pain, desire is born. In pain, it seeks fulfillment, and it ends in the pain of frustration and despair. Pain is the background of pleasure. All seeking of pleasure is born in pain and ends in pain. You see, my personal experience has somewhat been similar. In fact, the very first realization that happened in my case was that I got this insight that there is nothing I can do to break this interconnected opposite of happiness and unhappiness in duality. No matter how hard I try, no matter what I attain or achieve in life, I cannot break this link. And it generally starts at a very young age. When we are in school, we are told to study so that we can get into a good college. When we are in college, we are told to, perform better over there so that we get into a good organization. And then in the organization, it is a cutthroat competition, and we have to keep on reinventing ourselves. So this whole process of betterment, becoming better than what you are right now, it continues. And behind this is a constant desire to become something other than what you are right now. So this whole movement, if you see, of becoming, attaining, achieving, this entire thing is born out of desire, and it creates pain. Now, I'm not implying that, that you should leave your job and quit your work and, start doing spiritual practices. That is not the intent here. You can work and give your work the best you can. The only thing is, leave the outcome. The outcome is not in your hands. The moment you are tied up with the thought that you are doing this to become something, it is then that the pain happens. Because then what happens, if somebody gets promoted over you, something which you thought you deserved and somebody else got it, then you will be in agony. And this happens to the best of us. It has happened with me many times. There were so many times where my superiors took complete credit of my work. And during those moments, I was quite upset. But now I see the bigger picture, and I realize that it was meant to be. However, if at that time I had this understanding, perhaps I wouldn't have been so upset. I would have seen it as a natural course of life. But when we are clinging too hard to a fanciful image that we are projecting onto the future, then the desire for attainment of that image through effort, through any form of manipulation or control is bound to bring unhappiness. That is why Maharaj says that it ends in the pain of frustration and despair. And he says that all seeking of pleasure is born in pain and ends in pain. Every desire comes from the sense of personal identification. Therefore, the masters say that life is a simple imprisonment. But what happens when the dissolution of the personal self happens through the understanding that we are not the doers and that everything is happening? Then this insight changes everything. It changes our attitude to life, the way we see things. And I'll read a couple of words, what Maharaj said. He said it beautifully. He says that it is the mind that is dull or restless, not you. Look, all kind of things happen in this room. Do I cause them to happen? They just happen. So it is with you. The role of destiny unfolds itself and actualizes the inevitable. You cannot change the course of events, but you can change your attitude. And what really matters is the attitude and not the bare event. So he goes on to say, Brahma, the creator, is the sum total of all desires. The world is the instrument for their fulfillment. Souls take whatever pleasure they desire and pay for them in tears. You see, desire by nature is a movement. So there can never be any sense of fulfillment identified by a movement. The true satisfaction comes only in the stillness of the mind, which is no mind. Till the mind is moving, trying to contemplate happiness, trying to get happiness through hook or crook, or small time cheats or whatever, it is going to remain in pain. So whatever happiness will come will be fleeting. And that is why Maharaj says that all happiness come in the background of pain. So identified with the body, with the limited self, we act like beggars. Just trying to hold on to small things, small happiness here and there, while the rest of the time is spent in pain and misery and suffering. But once you have understood your true nature, what you really are, then there is no question of identifying with anything limited, because you have already become limitless. And here is a quote by Maharaj, which says, all desires are bad, but some are worse than others. Pursue any desire, it will give you trouble. Why desire at all? Desiring a state of freedom from desire will not set you free. Nothing can set you free because you are free. See yourself with desireless clarity, and that is all. When you identify with the limited mind, with the limited body, you see everything as a personalized happening. So every sensation, unpleasant sensation in the body, you cling on to it. And the clinging on happens. Now, if this is a pleasurable sensation, you want to hold on to it. And if it is an unbearable, uncomfortable feeling, then you want to get rid of it. Both of these are clinging. So it is the clinging which causes suffering. But when you have discovered your true nature, you don't cling on to the transient to the illusion. And that itself sets you free. Now, see, when here Maharaj is talking about desires, it is important to note that he's not talking about those small things, like eating a cupcake or enjoying a small, a savory or something like that. What Maharaj is talking about is the desire of becoming and unbecoming, the the future projection which causes a movement, that I am this and I am not enough and I need to do this to become that. Now there is a distance between the two, which Jiddu Krishnamurti called measure or separation. Now this measure or separation is the cause of unhappiness, because you are this also, what you think you are right now, and you are that also, what you think you will become once you do this and that, whatever. So Maharaj says, be passionately dispassionate. That is all. So I think we'll conclude this video and I will see you in the next. Thank you.